Hi, everybody. This is Justin from Fireside Games, and we are here to take a look at the Castle Panic Deluxe collection, which is available on Kickstarter now. I'm fortunate enough to be here with Jarred and Peyton from Kids Planning, and we're going to take a look at an unboxing of the base game and the Engines of War bits and pieces. Let's take a look.
Whoa. That looks really cool.
All right,
It's
no, Peyton, you're supposed to do that. Headphones.
Hi.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Good.
This game looks amazing.
It also
Thank
looks
you.
giant.
It is very big. There's a lot of stuff in there. Wait till you get to see it.
There's cards.
Yep, lots of cards. I mean, how else are you going to defend a castle?
They look different.
Yep. All new art is one of the things we did. Yep, we put all new art so everybody looks different than they did before. It's all the same cards you know, but now they all look super fancy.
What is this? What is that monster?
A big monster.
Right, it's just kind of meant to be the monsters in the forest. It's not really one particular guy, it's just the monsters. So we actually have a slightly different cover that we're going to be working with. You guys have an early prototype that we changed the art for a little bit.
I can't wait to see this.
What?
Whoa.
It's pretty fancy, right?
Yeah.
Looks really cool.
Whoa, look.
That's
That looks-
cool.
Yup, that's one of the things we did is when we wanted to make this super fancy version, we wanted minis, but we wanted you to be able to keep the monsters pointed at the castle, even when their health rotates down.
Oh.
So now the base is separate from the monster. It spins for their health.
What is this?
That is the tar token. That's what you will put the monster in when he's stuck in tar. So instead of putting just a piece of cardboard on him now, he gets stuck in an actual little blob of tar.
So
Wait,
this
who is
the-
this guy? It looks like a wizardish person, the potion
Right.
maker, healer.
Yep, that's the
It's the
healer. You
healer.
got it. Yep, that's the new healer.
This is the king. This is the king goblin.
This is
Can you
an
get a little
orc.
closer to the camera? Oh, that's the shaman. She's from different expansions. So she actually isn't part of regular Castle Panic. She's part of one of the expansions, Engines of War.
And this is an orc, I think.
That's the troll, actually. Just a good old-fashioned troll.
Oh yeah, trolls. I could also tell because he has a big fat belly.
Yes, exactly.
I
Like all trolls
destroyed
do.
the castle.
Oh, no.
A cat.
Is this an orc warlord?
Yes, that's the Orc Warlord. Yep, because I think he goes to 3. So, yep, that's how
Yep.
you know he's more than just a
This
regular
is
orc.
a monster camp.
Yes, that is another one from Engines of War. That's a special camp that makes the monsters
Cute.
come out even quicker.
I
This
just
is
realized the
three-
graphics on this are really cool. There's shields for the numbers.
Right?
Where
We wanted to
was
make it a
this?
little easier for everybody to see how to play. So, yeah, good eye. Good catch.
Shields for the numbers, and then
Is
for
this
the
one?
archer it shows a bow.
Mhm.
I'm guessing the cards also have a bow too for the archer.
You got it. Each of them ties into that symbol. Yep, very good.
From
What
other
is
games
this?
we've had, I guess that.
I think
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Is this
I
the
actually
king
really wish I
goblin?
could give you a high five.
Is this the
Yeah,
king
right. I'll give you an
goblin?
internet high five. There you go. Yes, that's the Goblin King. I can tell because he has his scepter and his cloak.
I can
So, yes.
too, because he has the teeth.
Yes, and he has Goblin
But he's
teeth
like-
too.
Is this an orc?
Can you hold it a little closer to the camera? Yes,
Holding
that
his
is a
two battle
regular
axes.
orc with 2 axes. Yep.
Is this
Um,
like a battering ram?
Not a battering ram. I
Yes,
think
that is. That's another one
Oh.
from Engines of War. That's the battery.
He was right. I was wrong.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because look,
And then
it's a ram.
It's
I
got
don't
a
know
ram
what
on the
it's
front.
and then are these in Engines of War, another expansion?
That is, no, that's actually a promo tower. So what we've done is a long time ago, we used to have little cardboard towers that had special rules to them. To make it work with the plastic version, that flag goes on top of one of your little round towers, and the little hole, the space on top.
This is just a goblin,
Yep, that is just a regular good old goblin.
because you don't turn the thing on the bottom.
Yep, he's only got 1 point, so there's nothing to turn. So yeah.
And these go on like that,
Yeah, they just sit on the top. Well, if you
except they
balance
don't
them carefully.
fall.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and there will be 6 different flags that the real game will come with, so you can have every tower have a special rule applied to it if you want.
And then
I
those
like
are
this.
those are the extra walls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
them
fortifications.
here.
Yep. Mhm.
And
Yep, and they
then-
hang over just like that. You got it.
This, I'm carefully. I still destroyed the sign. There's two. There's the archer thing that shoots.
Crossbow.
There's a crossbow and a cannon thing.
Catapult.
Right.
Yeah.
A catapult
Look
and a
how
ballista.
many stairs there is.
I know. You got to climb way up to get to the top of that one.
That's kind
That's
of
the key.
dangerous.
You're gonna be tired.
That's kind of dangerous. If you fall
Yep.
off the stairs, you can fall off the building.
It's true. Life in a castle has a lot of challenges.
I can't tell what this is because I don't remember it from.
A bunch of spikes.
I'm guessing it's a spike pit, but it's not from the main Castle Panic.
Right. That's from another one from the expansion. Yep, that is a pit. You put that out on the board, when monsters step on it, it hurts them.
It looks like this is how they get electricity. Like it's the thing that makes it so people get electricity.
I've seen this
Right.
trap before. I don't know what it's
Put it
called, but
in.
when a monster steps on it, does that mean it stops or does it get hurt?
If that's the spring trap that I think you're holding, it actually
Yes.
works kind of like driving back. It throws the monster all the way back into the forest. And you can put it out there anywhere you want on the board. So if they bump into it, boom, back they go.
It seems really small for one of these big people.
Hey, it's a very powerful rope.
Bing!
Exactly.
The
These are
castle.
obviously the walls because they're
Yep.
wall looking.
You got that
I
part
like
right. Yep.
the detail. You made like cracks in it.
Yep, it's got like little vines growing on it and stuff, right?
There's a lot of detail on this. Oh, the dice looks really cool too.
Yeah.
Right? It matches the new art on the edges of the board now. And it's also got colors. So red will be red and blue will be blue. It'll help you tell which area things go.
This
is
guy goes on
awesome.
5. There's way too many monsters on 5.
There always is.
Dude.
A lot of God. There's a lot of monsters in one arc. That is
Every-
really bad. You need a boulder really bad right now.
Yeah, really bad.
The boulder would destroy
See?
like. Should we look at the cards first or the tokens?
Whichever you want. It's all pretty cool.
Cards.
Okay.
Ask if there's any new cards.
Are there any new cards to it?
We're including some cards that were promos a while ago that you'll be able to get now. So they'll be in there as promo cards. You don't have to play with them, but you can if you want to.
Look at these ones.
Those look like promo
Awesome.
cards. Yep.
Ah, this is the one that makes them in tar. Oh,
That's
the
not-
swordsman.
That's not the one that puts them in the tar. That's the one that kills them if they're in the tar. The feather card.
Feather. Yep. Yep. And that used to be one we sold as a bookmark a long time ago because we thought bookmarks were kind of funny. And now we've turned it into just a regular card you can have in your game. So one fun thing, if you
Hold
look in the
up.
bottom right corner of all the promo cards, you'll see a little exclamation point. That's how you know it's a promo card.
There is archers, knights.
They're also purple.
There's
Yep.
knights, and there's the swordsman.
And then
All of
No.
the classic cards.
this one says
Are
all
these
for
the
one.
swordsmen or the heroes?
A
Where are
bunch
the
of people
heroes?
either killing the weapons or using the weapons to kill each
Can I
other.
see?
Nice. So they're
I
all
will
putting their
kill
weapons
you.
together.
I will kill you.
That's a
with
weird
an
picture
bang,
right
bang,
there
bang.
with an arrow.
You are not dead. Bang.
That's all the archer has.
And then all these swordsmen. I think
Yes,
these
lots
are
of swords.
No, those are the any color hero. This looks really cool.
Isn't it neat? I'm so happy with how the art came out. We worked a long time with a bunch of different artists to
More
make all this stuff.
cards. Brick and
These
mortar
all look really
cool. Jinx.
Nice. I'm
kidding.
glad you guys like it. That
More
makes me really happy.
Wait, Peyton, wait. First,
The cards.
I was thinking first this, but
Brick, mortar, wood, rope. Brick, mortar, wood, rope.
and jury rig. I don't know what a
It's
jury rig
brick.
is.
I mean, it's mortar,
Yep.
brick, wood, rope. Brick, wood, rope, mortar.
Yep, that's the jury. So those are the cards for engines of war that you use when you're building things. Yep, and,
And
there's
I'm
the
guessing
engineer.
these guys build them.
And then this is what you do, I think.
I think he's got it figured out. Yep. So you tell the engineer what you want to build, and then you pay the cards that it says you need on that the wheel part. Pretty much all.
Ah! Boulder.
Oh,
this
the
is-
boulder!
There's
Throw it
the
at
boulder.
those monsters. It killed
I
none.
told you there's a boulder in there.
I killed them.
Not too much.
Ew.
Yay, we
Nicely
destroyed all the
We
monsters!
also broke
We
them.
won!
Yeah.
Yay.
Uh-huh.
So this fancy version of the game is going to come with special wood tokens now.
Okay, one token at a time.
Ooh.
It's a goblin.
Cool.
Oh, so you can play with the tokens and the minis?
Well, yes and no. The tokens now are just kind of like the ones that you pull out the tokens so you know which monster goes on the board. Then you put the mini on the board.
Boulder.
But you can't play with
Miss
the
it.
tokens because of those numbers on them.
You can for the base game, yeah.
Draw 4.
When you get into the expansions, that gets a little tricky. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are all of the minis going to be there for every token?
Yes, you'll get minis for everything. Yeah. So
That is a lot of minis.
It's a huge amount of minis. We wanted to make the fanciest version of Castle Panic we could, and we did.
I'm going to.
Next, let's take a look at the Dark Titan expansion.
Whoa. This guy is giant.
Is he the Dark Titan guy?
You got it. His name is Agranok, and he is not happy that you are living in a castle. He wants to smash it.
It looks like Ragnarok.
Yes, it's kind of meant to look like
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. That's where we got the name kind of from.
Thor,
But his name is Agranok.
not Ragnarok.
I actually looked at that small print and I thought it said after Ragnarok moves.
Yeah, so this one is
this one
all
the
about-
Herald?
Yep, that's the one with the flag. Yep. So the way this one works is a little bit different. When you draw a herald, it doesn't go on the board at first. It would go onto the back of the card. So on the back, see if you see the Agranok card there over by Peyton. It has these. No, the card in front of him that has the picture of Agranok on it and all the words.
Yeah.
You'll start the game with that face down. You won't know which version of Agranok you're going to fight, and you'll only fight one at a time. So you wouldn't actually have two cards in front of you. So it'd be face down, which means you have those little triangle shapes face up on the back. That's where the heralds go. And in the real game, you'll have 5 heralds. In this mock-up, I only sent you 1, so you just have the 1 to play with. But the heralds go onto those spots in 1, 2, 3 pattern, and they unlock Agranok kind of like a key in a door. When 3 heralds show up, that's when you put Agranok on the board. So you sort of know when he's coming. You can tell by how many heralds you have, how close he is to getting them.
And so they have banners to show that the big war is coming.
Yep, they're very excited to cheer about him and let you know he is coming. That's why we call them heralds.
I'm trying to look for the one with the horse.
Oh, the little guy on the horse? He's actually in the cards because he's on your side. He's the Cavalier. So the thing about the Cavalier that I love is you get to use him to fight monsters. When you play the Cavalier card, you put the Cavalier in the Swordsman ring, and then on every player's turn, they get to move the Cavalier 1 space. So it can be, 1 space clockwise, 1 space counterclockwise, or out. When he bumps into the same space with a monster, you can have him fight that monster, and he does 2 points of damage to any monster he hits, but he takes the monster's health as damage himself, and he can only ever take 2 points, and then he dies. But you get it back with a card and use him again.
So you reshuffle the deck, and then you get to use another Cavalier.
Yes, you could even scavenge
But-
for him if you want to and send him back out. And if he fights monsters that are less than 2 points, he heals back up and isn't killed. So you can use him to kill goblins all day long. He will slay them left and right because they're only 1 point, and he can take 2 points of damage. So the Cavalier is very, very good to have on your side.
He's fighting Bomb Man on the castle.
And look out, they're really in your castle. So yeah, they're a lot like toys, aren't they? It's kind of exciting to have all these bits and pieces.
This one is the Boom Troll.
Yep,
Well,
exactly.
he has
You can
a
tell because he
tail.
has a giant bomb on his back.
He has a tail.
Does he go boom at all?
He does. You guessed it. He's pretty bad. If he hits your castle, he blows up and he destroys not just the wall but the tower behind it. So yeah, he does. He'll never get inside your castle. He just blows up. Well, I shouldn't say that. He could get in if there's no walls. He could get in if there's a hole in your castle, and then he still blows up and kills the tower and the wall. So yeah, it's bad.
But he
And-
booms too.
Yes, he blows himself up. Yep.
Good, because if he didn't, then that would be a very strong troll.
Yes, that would be an exceptionally strong troll. He's not the smartest guy, but he does have a really big explosive on his back. So
He can
And
hold
then-
things with his tail.
This looks like 3 people.
yes, that is what we call a support token. So for the first time ever, there are good tokens in the bag. When you pull the token out that says support token, you'll put that little mini on the board. And then what you do is you pay cards to bring them into the castle.
No
So
one
if you-
breathe.
No one breathe. Very carefully
You
balanced.
can breathe.
Okay,
Can we-
good. Yeah. If you can bring those support characters into the castle, if you move them in enough, they'll actually do stuff for you. So those guys, I think that's the reserve squad. They will let you hit monsters anywhere on the board and damage them for however much health the reserve squad has left. You can also use them to fight monsters on their way in. So now you have some things you can move around on the board, whereas before you just had cards, and you just had to hit them with cards. Now you can move things around.
So is this like the Cavalier? Every turn you get to move them one space?
You have to pay cards to move those guys. The Cavalier's free. If you discard a card that matches, any card, like a hit card, like say a red swordsman or whatever, you can then move them one space. But if the color you're getting rid of is the color they're in, you can move them two spaces.
Ooh, even out of that color?
Yeah.
This
So
is
yeah,
Cavalier.
so you can move them into a new color, play another card to move them another time, pay another card to move them another time, and drive them anywhere
I
you
think
want.
this is the
Yes,
Cavalier.
there's some good strategy there in planning how you want to move them.
Cavalier.
Yeah, so the Cavalier's not a monster, Jared. He's one of your guys. You get him from the deck of cards, and you put him out there to fight monsters. He's on your side.
This one, the Stonesman cart, the Stonemason's cart.
Yes, if you get him into the castle, you get to build walls instantly equal to his health. So if you get him in fully healed, that's 2 walls instantly right away. Yep. And then at some point, Agronach's going to come out, and that's when things get really scary, because he is so tough. Not only does he have 8 points, like I said, if you want to use the Barbarian against him, guess what? It doesn't kill him. It only takes half his health. And then here's the really scary part. He basically eats the Barbarian. You have to put the Barbarian back in the box. You can't use it again. So you have to be really careful on how you attack Agronach. He eats cards like that. Anything that would kill him does 4 points, and he is out of the game. So if you use like a nice shot or a Barbarian or anything like that, it's gone. So better be careful. And the different levels of Agronach are even scarier. There's 5 levels in the game. Level 1 is not that bad. Level 5 is pretty scary. And we're giving you a promo level 6 that's really scary. That means after he moves like a regular monster, you have to roll the die and he's going to do something extra. One of his special powers is to throw a boulder.
Throw?
Basically, a boulder comes out of Agronach and hits your castle. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Sometimes he moves again. Sometimes he moves other monsters like the Troll Mage does and stuff like that. He's bad. He's just all sorts of bad. And like I said, remember his bottom health? He doesn't have 1 point of health. He has an X. So he goes from 2 to X. That means you have to hit him twice to finish him off that last turn, or he shrugs off the only one. If you just have 1 hit and he's at 2, he doesn't care. It doesn't even hurt him.
But you can't.
Even though he's really scary, this makes me really want to play the game.
It's a lot of fun. Agronach is one of my favorite pieces in the game. What's really fun is, since you don't know when he's coming, you just have to look at how many of those little heralds you have on the card. And as you get 1, it's not so bad. 2 gets kind of scary. And then when that 3rd one comes, here you go.
And
also,
there's actions on them. There's actions under them.
Yes, each herald does something terrible to you. The first 2 make you lose cards. The last one causes a boulder to show up. So
And
that's
then
on top of
it
that.
also calls Agronach.
Yes, exactly. And remember I said there's 5 heralds in the game? So you use the first 3 to fill up those cards. Kind of like I said, they're like little keys. The last 2, when they show up, they make Agronach do his special thing again. So it can get really scary.
This guy's almost as big as this place.
I know, he's huge.
He
Look
can
how
just
far
grab
reach
the
over those
win-
walls.
He can just grab the window and pull the place down.
And now let's take a look at the Wizard's Tower.
Whoa. Why is there a giant guy riding a pig?
I think that's a goblin cavalry. It's a goblin riding a wolf. Even
Yeah, that's a
scarier.
wolf.
But the thing he does is he moves 2 spaces instead of 1, so he gets in your castle twice as fast.
This guy's the size of Agnarok.
Here's
Yep,
a
that's-
dragon.
That's the dragon. You got it. A fire-breathing dragon in this game.
I
Yep.
have Ragnarok. Dragon.
The
Same
dragon's
size.
nearly as big.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because dragons
Oh.
are awesome.
Didn't notice this.
Dragons are awesome.
Didn't notice that.
Mhm.
The Wizard's Tower.
Yep, that is where the expansion gets its name from. Yep.
This is really
Is this
cool.
a phoenix?
Yes, it is. It's a phoenix.
Ah.
This one gives you a
Flame?
lot of new monsters, and it gives you magic now. Because that Wizard Tower lets you get access to those cards that Peyton's looking at. The
This is so
Wizard
cool.
Tower cards.
This
You get to
looks-
cast spells now.
There's a fireball.
I think that's for this.
Well, it's because now fire is part of the game. So in the real version of the game, that fire that you're holding is going to be kind of rubbery. It'll be a little bit squishy. That one's just a printout to make sure it works, but it's hard plastic, so it's not going to work. But in the real game, you'll be able to stick that on either monsters if you light the monsters on fire, or the castle if the monsters light the castle on fire, because everything can be lit on fire in this expansion.
This says it's a doppelganger, but he has an
Yep.
X.
Yep. because he's not really a monster. When you draw that doppelganger, he sits in the forest and he waits. You can't kill him, and he doesn't move. He waits for the very next monster to die, and then he becomes that monster.
See?
So if you were to accidentally kill something big and scary, he would become the big and scary thing.
Look, he's becoming the orc.
Yep, his hand is turning into like an orc hand. Yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces too. And he's
And
all
look.
goopy and melty.
I'm guessing this calls the dragon.
Yes, so the trick is when you reach into the bag, you'll pull that out and then you'll put the dragon onto the board because it's the miniature that way. In the other version of the games, in the cardboard ones, they're actually different shapes on the bottom, so you would be able to tell by feel. So we made that so you can't tell by feel what you're grabbing. You're just reaching into the bag and pulling out a triangle, and it tells you what mini goes on the board next. So yeah, there you go.
There's an ogre?
Underground.
Yes, there's a 4-point ogre in this game. He doesn't do anything special, but he's got 4 points of health.
So there's also Cyclops.
Yep.
I like
he's one of the-
Cyclops.
Yep. So the Cyclops, the Centaur, and the Golem are special monsters because they're weak in one ring and extra strong in another ring.
This one shows a plus in Swordsman, but a tombstone in Archer.
Yes. So he dies if you hit him in Archer, and he's immune to basically. It's like an X, meaning you can't use that card.
You mean
I thought of it more like a plus, meaning like
Right,
he
but
got
it's-
healed up right back.
No, he's just immune to him. You just can't use it. Now, you can still use the Barbarian or a magic spell or something, but you can't use just a regular hit card on him. He just shakes it right off. Doesn't damage him.
So swords don't do anything to him, because he can just block it, but arrows he can't block.
Right, exactly. I think that's the not gargoyle, that's the Cyclops. I always think of it as the arrow goes into his eye, because he's only got one eye, and you shoot him right in the eye, and that's it, done.
There's actually a Greek Cyclops that he was hit in the eye and got killed instantly.
Yes, that's where it comes from. That's where our monster was inspired by that myth.
Goblin Cavalry.
Yep, that's the goblin riding the wolf that you thought was a pig. He moves 2 spaces every turn, so he is inside your castle in 2 turns.
Who's the imps?
Killing me.
So the imps are special little magical creatures. Imps don't come out on their own. They're brought by other monsters. So like for example, there's a monster called the Conjurer. I don't know if you have the mini for him, but the Conjurer brings imps. Yeah. So when she shows up, you put her on the board, then you roll the die, and the number of dice you roll is the number of imps that will come out with her in different rings. And there's also a monster called the Hydra. It's one of the boss monsters. Every time you hit the Hydra for a point of damage, 2 imps will appear in the forest behind it.
We heard that there was a new game coming with the deluxe version. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I'm very excited. Been working on it for a while now. It's called Crowns and Quests. It's a whole new expansion, and it works very different than the other ones. One of the cool things in it is you're going to get to choose a card that's going to be a character that's like somebody that's part of the royal family or like a friend of the royal family. So you might be like the king or the prince, the princess, or whatever, with just you have a special power that you can use during the game. And then the other thing that happens now is instead of just getting a bunch of monsters, you're now going to have quests you have to complete. And these quests are going to be little like missions you have to do while you're still defending the castle. And it might be things like you have to send out a worker who can go send a scout out that can go pick up a magical scroll in the forest and bring it back to the castle. Or maybe you have to fight a special monster that's trying to cast a spell and you only have so many turns before he casts his spell. One of my favorite things, though, is there's now a new way to end the game where if you can complete this really tough quest, you'll actually win the game, or hopefully win the game. And one of my favorites is one where you actually have to take little magical portals, put them out onto the board using that scout, and then if you can complete the circle and surround the castle, you will teleport the castle to safety and win the game that way. There's a bunch of these quests that are going to be in there. Some of them work like that where they end the game, and other ones are just things you have to do. It's got new bits and pieces, and we are doing that as part of Deluxe as a special way to release it, but we will be putting out a regular version that you can buy at any store later next year after we do the Kickstarter. But we wanted to make that a big part of the celebration of this giant, huge Deluxe edition.
But question really quick, what do the quests do for you?
They're basically how you end the game, because when you're playing with Crowns and Quests, the bag of monsters fills up over and over again. The only way to win is to finish all the quests. Now, you're usually only doing 2 quests, so it's not like you have to do 100 of them.
But there are 100 quests total.
No, not 100. I think there's 12 of the regular quests and 6 of the challenge quests, if I remember my math right, and I'm not sure I do. I'm still working on that, too. It's being finished as we speak. That's why I don't have any art to show you, and I don't have any minis for it. So.
One more question before we leave. Are these going to be painted, or are you going to be able to paint them?
You will be able to paint them. There are going to be over 97 minis in this set if you buy the whole thing. So we can't really paint that for you. Get your brushes and a lot of paint ready.
Yeah, kind of hard to paint 97.
Yes. You don't have to paint them all, but yes, I'm sure you want to paint at least a few. And remember, all I sent you here was a sample. This isn't even all the minis that are going to be in these games. It was just so you could get a look at all the cool stuff, because there's too many to make on my own.
Thanks again for sending us this game. It was really fun talking to you again.
Mm-hmm. It's also, this game is so cool.
We have a link to the Kickstarter in the description, so be sure to go check that out.
Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.